Hi, I'm Tammy Rice. I'm a soon-to-be graduate of Texas A&M Commerce with an organizational leadership degree. I'm 54 years old, so I've had a lot of experiences. As a leader, I've been a supervisor, I've been a manager, I've been a director, I've been a vice president. So I've had a seat at different levels of viewpoints of leadership. So when I think about what did I know about leadership going into this program, I guess what I knew is that I didn't do any of those things, attained any of those positions without the help of a lot of people. That leadership, being a good leader, means that you are vulnerable and that you're willing to ask for help when you need it. And then also, as a leader, one of the things I knew going into this program is that leadership is all about taking care of the people that follow you. Being a leader of people, you have to always have them first, because if you put them first, then the things that you want to achieve as a leader will happen. So when I think back on before I started the program, how I felt about leadership, that's my viewpoint and the different things I had going for me going into the leadership program. Organizational leadership courses really helped me not only learn and grow, but they also helped me better understand who I was as a leader. I came into this program being pretty set in who I was as a leader, but what happened is these courses opened my mind even more, and it gave me an educational opportunity to expand and grow. Many times a leader will talk about how are they a successful leader, and they're a successful leader because they're always open to learning and growing. One of the things I learned in Issues in Organizational Leadership is that one was really a good first course because it refreshed me on organizational structures, it refreshed me on different leadership theories. So it's not that I didn't know them, it's just that I'd kind of forgotten what I did know. One of the most challenging courses I took was data-driven decision making. That is an area where I always had the luxury of having people on my team that could tell stories around data. So I really didn't need to know how to tell a story with data. I always had people that could do that for me. So what that course did for me was really opened up my knowledge and understanding about how are decisions made based on data. And so that really was a stretch for me. As one of the prerequisite courses that I took also was statistics, another stretch for me. So I would say that course is very needed in this program because many people don't have that as a skill set, and now today data-driven decision making is part of everything a business does. They want to make sure that every resource, every effort they put against something is going to net what the outcome has been listed. The Behavior, Ethics, and Leadership course I loved. I really enjoy sociology, I enjoy ethics, I enjoy those kinds of things because I think as leaders, those are the important things. It's not just cut and dry that this is the answer, because many times there's multiple ways to look at an issue, and especially when you think about ethics. The thing that stood out for me in that course was the paper that I wrote about the Pinto, and the $12 part that could have fixed all of those deaths. And on paper, when you start writing it, you start looking at how they did a cost-benefit analysis and why they made the decision they did not to make the corrections. And it was really eye-opening from a corporate experience. And I think that many people make broad statements and think that this is the right thing to do, and that companies need to have an ethics base because there's lives at stake. There are people's livelihoods at stake. And so that paper really was a good paper to apply a lot of the things I learned in that course. Leadership theory, both courses, was very interesting because I thought that learning about how to look at leadership issues was really good. And one of the things that I really enjoyed early in my career, I used to do SWOT analysis all the time. And it wasn't something that I had not done before. But I will tell you, it had been a long time since I really looked at it. And so looking at that course and being able to reapply and think through and do a SWOT analysis and research a company, that was kind of enjoyable to me. I really like that. I like that activity. I like that project. And then the second half, having to come back and do a process improvement, it's kind of a way in which we can apply the knowledge that we gain through it. So I really think that those two courses together gave a lot of benefit to apply the new knowledge. Leading Change course is something that I live and breathe. So it wasn't something that I would say I didn't know the topic, but it was something that was nice to refresh because there's so many different frameworks when it comes to change. They all have similarities, but it was kind of refreshing just to review the academics of change and to think through how change impacts organizations. So I think that course was more of a validation of what I know, and then the project that culminated from that, having to put together a change plan, it's something I do quite frequently. So it wasn't a challenge for me, but it was a challenge in the fact that I had to have a defined process to follow, where I'm so used to doing change plans now that I sometimes probably omit things that I shouldn't. So the Capstone, I've obviously completed Capstone 1 because I'm now in my Capstone 2 with this video. I really have enjoyed that. I've enjoyed the papers that I've written. I think that the topics for the papers have been really good, and it really has helped me write my story. Because so many times what happens in life, you go all the way through your life and you never really take time to reflect. And to me, this Capstone has given me the ability to take time to reflect and think back on the specific questions related to leadership. So that's been very beneficial to me. I do think that that format is great. It gets you to the point where you're really telling your story. Who am I as a leader? When I think of that question, the things that pop into my head is the people that I've led in the past. I can think through people I've led in the past, and many of them I know where they are today. Because I'm not just their leader at the moment, I am their leader for life. I have people call me and ask me career advice. So I think that right there is an indication that I am a people-focused leader. I build relationships with the teams that I have. I don't see that as a weakness. I see that as a strength. I think sometimes leaders can have themselves kind of blocked off and think that I can't have a relationship with the people that I lead. I think that is so untrue and so false. It really prevents you from being the best leader you can be. I can be a friend, I can be compassionate to someone, but I also can lead them. I can also have those difficult conversations when I need to. And the way I do that is because I've already built a relationship. A difficult conversation when you have a relationship with someone is not so difficult. You're talking to someone because you care about them. You're not coming from that level of authority and power. You're coming alongside them and having a discussion. I think that I really like developing people. I have had people on my team that have come to me and they enjoyed their job, they enjoyed everything about it, but they really wanted to grow somewhere else. And I was okay with that. I had someone that was on my learning team and they had an interest in strategic sourcing, which is totally different than what a learning field would be. I was able to make a connection with another leader, and when I was sitting at the table and projects came up, I was able to put that person on that project. And from that, she built a relationship, and now she's an international strategic sourcing person, travels all the way around the world, sourcing different products, and I couldn't be more proud. So I am a college graduate. That's where I am, and I am so excited. So to be a college graduate means so much to me because it really was a point of embarrassment for so many years. And now that I've actually attained this goal, so now what I'm going to do next? Well, the reason I did this is for a couple of reasons. One is I'm already thinking about my, semi-retirement years. And I held international positions, and I really enjoy teaching people. And so one of the things I would like to do in semi-retirement is I would actually like to teach at a local college, community college. I know that typically the college base there could have more of an international group, and so I would love that. And so I know that in order to do that, I have to have a degree, and actually I have to have a master's. So where do I go from here? I'm looking at Texas A&M Commerce at a couple of their programs. I know that they have a program, they have an MBA program that I might look at. And I also know that they have an organizational learning technology program that could also be beneficial. So those are that's what I'm looking at as my future. So when I think about leadership, it's all about helping people. In my future, I may not hold a leadership title, but I would be leading others to be leaders.